People just playing us generation after generation, century after century, millennium after millennium, using old tactics with a new face, with a new skin, with a new coating, with a new covering. But it's the same old thing people have been playing for 2,000 years. And if you don't know your history, you're destined to repeat it. And that only helps people that are in power who actually have generational wealth, is to actually keep you down. So let's read this from Marcus Cicero again from Roman times. The evil was not inbred in circuses per se. So the evil of bread and circuses, it's in itself is not bad, but in the willingness of the people to sell their rights as free men.
Listen,
right? So bread and circus in itself is not a bad thing. It's the willingness of the people to sell their rights as free men. And free men encompasses free women too, right? So if bread and circus is not effective unless free men are willing to participate in it. Here you are, you're giving away your freedom, thinking that it's freedom. Think about that. You're giving away your freedom, thinking you have the freedom to do so, which is an idea that has been sold to you from birth. The freedom, I can look what I want to.
That's not fair.
I can do what I want to. And the reality is, if you know the history, you can't do what you want to without consequences. Albeit I'm not here to say stop watching sports, right? We have, and this is, if it's personal, this is nothing personal against anyone in particular. We're looking at it from a group scale, from a bird's eye view, the scope of the entirety of the people. So if you don't feel personally that this has subsumed you, has consumed you as an individual, and it doesn't impact your life, it doesn't impact you economically to sit down and watch the football game, that's fine. You're probably right when it comes to that. We're talking about this thing as a group of people, and to deny that would be insane. We must look at this thing. Antonio brought up the actual example of the person that was talking about, grown man, talking about what LeBron and Stephen A. Smith are doing, of guys that are 100 million, right? These are guys that are at the 9-figure scope, right? And Stephen A. making 9 figures, I'm not really sure. He probably has to go all out now to earn, to justify that 100 million. So it's the willingness of the people to sell their rights as free men. So we remember the Bible and the story of Jacob and Esau. Esau is the son, or the son, Jacob and Esau were the sons of Isaac through Abraham, right? And we see that God made a promise to Abraham, fulfilled through Isaac, according to the Bible. According to the Bible, so my people don't get on me talking about Ishmael and Isaac. I'm just talking about the story as it reads in the Bible. Jacob and Esau inherits the birthright that God, based on the promise of God made to Abraham through Isaac, unto Esau, right? And then there was a day that Esau was hungry, and he sold his birthright to his brother Jacob for a bowl of soup. So in this case, and this was 2,000 years ago, I believe that the Abrahamic Isaac through Esau and Jacob was 6,000 years ago. But don't quote me up. But saying all that to say is there is a common thread when men choose idleness over diligence and industriousness. right? And powerful people in charge, always know how to distract the masses, to be able to let you do things by, let the last poet say, automatic, systematic, remote control, synthetic, genetic, demand your soul.
Respectfully, excuse my
right?
language, fucked up.
So it's not telling you to sell your rights, but it's giving you the mindset that you're going to voluntarily sell your rights as free men. And let's go on with the statement. The evil was not in bread and circuses per se, but in the willingness of the people to sell their rights as free men for full bellies and the excitement of the games. So this whole thing is based on the Jacob and Esau story. It's like, I am hungry now, right? Therefore, I am going to sell my birthright to you for a bowl of soup. Now, you talk about value of a bowl of soup versus a birthright, right? Let's just put back of the envelope numbers on there, right? A bowl of soup would be 5 shekels, whatever the currency they were using. Those
excuse my language, that's fucked
half a dozen millennium ago versus a birthright, which you can't even quantify the number. It's so high, you can't even put the number to it.
Number 4,
for full bellies and the excitement of the games. How many times you say, I'm bored? You just sit hours and hours watching the game. You know, the bills are piling up in the background. Right? And the excitement of games, right? So, again, this doesn't necessarily mean the games also, right? Because they had games, you know, in the Colosseum and things of that nature. And there's a famous meme that goes around the internet where the ancient stadiums are exact replicas of the modern stadiums, particularly football stadiums. But games can be applicable to anything that leads to idleness that is not part of improving or progression of the future.
Respectfully, excuse me.
So let's read it again. The evil was not in bread and circuses per se, but in the willingness of the people to sell their rights as free men for full bellies and the excitement of the games, which would serve to distract them from the other human hungers. The other human hungers would be enlightenment, right? Study, industriousness, work, diligence, which would serve to distract them from the other human hungers. Hungers of the soul, hungers of the mind. Food for the belly is not food for the mind. Those things can only be served by work and enlightenment.
It's you. It don't matter who it is.
Study,
Damn it, I'm just
studiousness, industriousness,
I'm gonna be like,
diligence.
That's not fair. But when it comes
which bread and circuses can never, in no scenario, at no point of time, ever appease.
Number 2, we know the perspective that I'm
which
from is real,
would serve to distract them from the other human hungers. Again, that's of the soul, with bread and circuses, which bread and circuses can never appease. So with all that said, family, just pay attention, be aware, be mindful of the things that you consume. Like Flavor Flav said, don't believe the hype. This is all hype, smoke and mirrors, magician work, and enchantment. Things that are casting a spell over us as a people. Again, this is not personal. I'm not telling anyone to stop watching sports. Although I don't watch it.
It don't matter who it is.
But as a people, we must get our priorities in line for us to move forward as a people and not continue to pick up the vices of a society that already has already established, and already has the wealth. And we're trying to compete and put our children out there to compete with people who have the wealth, right? How can we send our children out there to compete with people who have the wealth? Right? They have to compete with the children of people who had wealth, who had all the resources growing up. Right? So, with that said, peace and blessings, family. I'm going to leave it there again. I'm your brother, Afro-Descendant Ali of the Angel Network 1930. Please support the Cash App. You see at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And we will be back with more of this information. Peace.
Oh, my God.